And any company that tells you they don't have a delivery, they have the same effective rate, and they're just putting it in the gallons, hiding it in the price per gallon, if you will. So fuel's pretty complicated whenever it comes to actually the delivery of fuel. When you see fuel prices on the internet, you're looking at a gas buddy where you're going to a convenience store typically to pick up the fuel, right? Like you're going to a 7-Eleven and they're expecting you to come in and get a hot dog and grab a Monster. Now, when you get into our world, there's a lot of variables, right? And all of it equals time, right? Like these trucks that are delivering your fuel, there's a hourly expectation that these things have to meet in order to be profitable and pay for themselves. And so that could be time on site, the complexity, you know what I mean, of the site can play into it. Obviously, the biggest probably thing that plays into it is just the amount of gallons, right? Because let's say that a truck needs $150 an hour to operate profitably, right? That's a pretty common number in our industry. And most of our customers typically understand that, right? Because they have fleets of trucks that they have to operate probably in that same ballpark. And so if you're putting a $150 delivery fee into the gallon and you're only taking 150 gallons, then it's going to be whatever the wholesale, cost of fuel is that day, plus $1 per gallon. But if you're taking that and putting it into 1,500 gallons, the perception of how much the fuel is becomes a lot less.
Fuel type in certain areas, is that something?
Fuel is fuel. You know what I
Right.
mean? When it
Okay.
comes, it's the logistical things that go into getting it to you, right? And the specifics of your job, right? That are having to be done. But it really all boils down to that effective rate, right?
Mhm.
And any company that tells you they don't have a delivery, they have the same effective rate, and they're just putting it in the gallons, hiding it in the price per gallon, if you will. We do it however the customer asks us to do it, right? Like sometimes they're bidding on a job where it's just the price per gallon that they have to be, using, and we can price it that way. But typically, we just like to use a delivery fee because that just gives you transparency on what we're charging you to bring you your fuel, And so, not playing games. The guys that tell you there's no delivery, they're usually playing games, is what they're doing.
It's
So,
somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
nobody works for free. This is not a nonprofit.
With a scheduled delivery, is that something we can kind of optimize
Oh,
for the
absolutely.
very best?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still the same effective rates, right? You're just using less of it,
Mhm.
right? And so, route density is a big thing in our world, right? So if in a, 10-mile region, you know what I mean, we've got 30 deliveries, right? In that same 10-mile diameter, you can get real competitive. And we're carrying 4,000 gallons, right? And so it's not like we go pick fuel up every time, right?
Mhm.
But if we're picking our fuel up and and we're able to get onto your yard, get out of there in 30 minutes, it's in the Metroplex. That's about a best case scenario as it can be. But all of a sudden, if we're having to drive out of the metro area, right, into a rural area or a suburb or something like that, and then when we get onto the site, maybe there's really strict security precautions, right? And we have to wait an hour just to get to your piece of equipment. Then we fill your piece of equipment. Well, all of a sudden that turned in by the time we pick fuel up, get to your site, get through all the security stuff, get the piece of equipment fueled, get back out, fill our truck back up. That can be 2-3 hours.
Mhm.
And if it's large gallons, probably not a big deal, right? Like it averages out. But if it's small gallons, probably looks really really expensive. But it's just understanding that effective rates, right? The hourly rate that our truck has to operate at
We
can,
got to figure
yeah,
that
just
out
got to
for
figure it
just
out.
like any company. Yeah.
Figuring it out with 100 gallons is,
Mhm.
it's going to look expensive. It's really, not any more expensive than it was to deliver 2,000 gallons,
Mhm.
right? And so if it's on a schedule, we're going to be able to get you the best price that you can get out there, right? When it's on a schedule.